Well, hello friends, I hope you're having a great day today. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Take 5. We had the blizzard and now, everything's kind of thawing and turning into ice. It's still real cool out here. So if you are traveling today, please be careful still. The roads still have some icy spots, so please be careful if you're out there on the road. So let's jump into this today. We're talking about the message that we entitled The Succeeding Generation. And what we've been doing is looking at the relationship of Elijah and Elisha. Elijah being the predecessor, Elijah being the successor. And we saw how Elijah had a little bit of a problem there at first, but God got him on track. And he actually came down from that mountain of self-pity and ended up doing a really good job in training his successor, Elisha. What we also know about every one of us is that every generation is a predecessor and a successor. I really can't say that enough. That's something I think that needs to be repeated often, because every generation has something to pass down to the next, and every generation also has something to pick up from the previous generation and to translate that into your personal walk with God, and then to make that something that's worthy of being passed down to the next. This is how the heritage of faith, this is how the anointing, this is how church, this is how worship, this is how service, this is how the gospel perpetuates from generation to generation. Now, in looking at Elijah and Elisha, we've talked about some things this week already. I got actually two more today and tomorrow, but let's just talk about one real quick today, and we're going to get in out of this cold. I hope you're not listening to this in the cold, but I'm standing out in it, so we're going to get this done. Today, every succeeding generation has got to be willing to make room for that spiritual heritage that's being handed off to them. You got to be willing to make room. Sometimes you have to be willing to lay some things down, and Elisha did just that. When Elijah came down off of the mountain and he found Elisha, the Bible said that he was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen, and he was plowing with the 12. Elijah walked by him, threw his mantle on him, and touched him with it, and went walking on off. And then Elisha stopped what he was doing, stopped his plowing, and took off after Elijah and said, "Wait, I'm coming to serve you." Elijah said, you don't have to do that. I just want to come by and speak to you. He said, no, I'm coming to follow you. You've got something that I want. So Elisha went back and he killed the oxen that he was plowing with. He burnt his plow, he burnt the yoke, everything that was there, and fed all of the people, and then he left. Now, he wasn't, going back and, just having a party. He was saying farewell to some things. Basically, he was making room in his life for what he was about to do. He knew he could not carry on what he was doing. It was a family tradition and heritage for him to be a farmer. That is something that had been passed down for generations, and that's obvious because he was plowing with so many. So his family were big farmers. And that day he decided, you know what, I've got to pursue something that's bigger than that. God's got different plans for me, and I've got to pursue that. And he burnt those things to get rid of them. So burning all of that just represents the things that he was willing to get rid of, the things that he was willing to leave behind so that he could go and pursue this great heritage of faith. You see another example of this in Elisha. He follows Elijah everywhere he goes and learns so much from this great man of God. He follows him to the point to where Elijah is caught up to be in the heavens with the Lord. And when he does, he drops that mantle that he has used. The very same mantle that he hit Elisha with, the very same mantle that he had seen used in various miracles and parted the Jordan. He dropped that mantle back down. Well, before Elisha picked it up, he took hold of his own outer garment and tore it in two and pulled it off, and then picked up that mantle that was dropped by Elisha. All that's saying to us is that we have got to make room in our life. We've got to be willing to take some things off before we can pick that anointing up and put it on. The outer garment, it represents what people were. You remember Joseph's coat of many colors. When people saw that, they knew without a doubt that he was favored by somebody special. He was favored by somebody that was high up, and they knew that. And so when Elisha tore his garment off, he was basically saying, I'm taking off some things to make room to put on this anointing in my life. Now, I can't name for you the things that you may have to burn and say goodbye to, or the things that you may have to tear off and lay down and leave behind so that you can put this anointing on. I can't name those things for you, but you're going to have to find out what these things are and determine if they are keeping you from fulfilling the great plan that God has for your life and keeping you from being a great successor to this heritage of faith. Hey, it's been good being with you today. I've got to get out of here. I'm freezing to death. Hey, I look forward to being with you tomorrow on Friday's edition of Take 5. Till then, God bless you. Have a great day. Hey, trust the Lord, my friend. He will never fail you.